mass literacy campaigns and providing free Muhammad Ali died in 1971. He said he's never smoked cigarettes since nationalized the Congolese.
So we all know history. It's a fun subject in my opinion. You know, I'm collecting different military stuff from different parts of history. Most of it are from World War II or the Cold War. And you know, interesting subject, learning about the past and such. And this is where history channels come in. And sure, we have the history channel and such, but they have like a plot and make sense unlike the YouTube channels, especially the ones on short, because history on YouTube can be quite interesting to say the least. I mean, Oversimplified does a good job, and Simple History as well. There are many others that I don't remember, but I'm sure you can find some very good ones. However, the ones on YouTube Shorts are the most interesting ones. For example, they could have a video talking about World War II, and then they would take another historical fact out of nowhere and just tell it at the end of the video. Here I have this example.
Stalingrad was on the northern flank of the German assault to capture the oil fields. The German military had decided there was no strategic purpose in capturing Stalingrad. They could just bypass it. They didn't need it. It didn't serve any purpose to take it. And then Hitler gets involved. He made a speech. He says, "So I was looking at the map," I'm paraphrasing. "I was looking at the map, and I saw his name there staring at me, and I realized we had to take the city named after him." Von Richthofen, the Luftwaffe commander on the southern front in the Soviet Union, bombed the city on August 23rd. It turns out that was another catastrophic mistake for the German military. Cities are easy to navigate when streets aren't filled with rubble. If you're defending, bombed buildings provide ready materials for fortification. Also, with roofs gone, you can fire mortar rounds from inside buildings. In 1964, Andy Warhol made a 35-minute film called focusing only on a man's face during oral.
Now the World War II fact and video, that was very good, interesting, and provided good information about the Battle of Stalingrad and how it began and such. But the thing at the end just leaves it at some people wondering, what did they mean? Because you could have ended the video after you talked about Stalingrad. Not that you could have just like made two separate videos, the one on Andy Warhol, because then you can have filled in more information on why he did it and such. Because the thing you did right now was not good in historical standards, because you can't just tell another story and switch to another and then leave, for example, the viewer wondering. Because you need some backstory on why Andy Warhol did that, not just what it was and when it was. You need to know also why he did that. For example, when you mentioned about Stalingrad, why the German leader during World War II wanted to have it. It was because Stalin had his name on it, and the Führer wanted it. And also another thing that bothers me is the AI imagery. Now, it is fine to some extent to have AI. I mean, sure, it's not the best, but it's okay. But not all the images, and also the editing is kind of bothering, I'm not gonna lie, on how they just clip into effects. But it's okay in overall, but the AI images also bother me a bit. I think it's better if you use historical pictures. I mean, I can understand why you used AI images, for example, the German World War II leader. If I mention his name, I could probably get demonetized, which is very unfair. Because I'm not like praising him or something like that, I'm just talking about his name and his context in this. But of course, YouTube is another place, and so is most social medias. When you provide context that you do not support him or similar ideologies, you still get demonetized for even mentioning his name. But yeah, I can understand why you use AI images of that, but you could add images. Like, I'm not demanding that you have a picture of a bleeding soldier in the ground, but I'm kind of demanding you to have at least some real historic pictures, because AI is not providing any more good information. The visual is more important, like how you view things. If you view a real life image of for example, a soldier sitting eating a can of peas in Stalingrad, you could truly understand how horrifying it was to be in that battle. Because it was the bloodiest battle in human history. Can you think of that? The bloodiest battle in mankind started over 70 years ago, like it was 70 years ago, almost 80. And that's kind of crazy to think about it, that it wasn't so long ago. I mean, I would have expected some more battles, but when I learned about that the average Stalingrad soldier only lasted about 35 minutes, or was it a day? But yeah, either 35 minutes or 24 hours, I was pretty shocked. But it isn't surprising with the numbers that the German troops are pouring in than the Soviet citizens. But yeah, that's what my complaint about the historic channel so far, is that they leave often the viewer at a filler. And they don't really explain the context on some things and just go along with it, which bothers me as someone who likes history. I mean, watching history on YouTube Shorts or any sort of short thing can be good. You can memorize things, and if you aren't interested in picking up a history book or viewing a 10-minute video about history or even longer, then I recommend you can watch these videos to have like a daily fact of it. Because I sure learn something from it every day. But the Andy Warhol video, I think I might have to do research on that, because I wasn't provided with enough information to keep me satisfied. I mean, it had me intrigued on the Stalingrad thing too, like I would search it up too if I was new to it, but Andy Warhol I'm searching it up because the video didn't give me enough basic information to start off as. But yeah, that's... Now to add in something before the video ends, is also another channel that I kinda liked, you know. It has the historical figures and talking about them, and they had a live stream they hosted, right? And I go into this live stream, and it's like about historical figures, right? But it's just too many voices. I think this person who launched this live stream thought that it would operate by itself, the program, that it would tell it side by side if you put all at once. Because this sounds like a disaster. Here, listen.
Literacy campaigns and provided Muhammad Ali took pride in the fact that he was never going to fish my nationalize the Congolese eat the fish, and then I will be in the belly of the people. January 1977.
So yeah, this was the thing I showed you at the beginning. And it's very irritating, to say the least. I mean, someone might want to have learned history from that, and they are just using AI programs irresponsibly. I think that's very stupid, because in the end, you will not achieve much by doing this. You know, I don't mean it in a mean way. I'm just meaning that instead of AI, you could use your real voice and tell it on the live. I mean, sure, it may not attract people, and it may not be as easy as doing, for example, the AI voice, but at least you could tell the stories one by one, and so on. For some people, maybe may it be a small portion of people liking it and subscribing to you. But yeah, that's all for today. I have tortured myself enough on these history YouTube short channels that have put me through intense pain, such as this video I just showed. But yeah, subscribe if you liked, and like if you like, of course. But yeah, that's all for today. Farewell.